All right, ladies and gentlemen, we go into game 2 right now. It's going to be on Odyssey. And right now, 1-0 up for Gumiho. So Happy needs to step it up, or else Gumiho will draw first blood.
Well, he kind of already has. That 1-0 victory in the best of 3.
Semantics. Semantics.
But you know about that famous second blood. Some would argue the better Rambo movie. They drew first blood. Always something. I have to make.
Is that a Rambo quote?
Yeah.
Is that a?
That's from the first one.
You're supposed to say no. That's my life.
Sorry.
You.
Anyways, Odyssey, a pretty good map. I think one of the cooler things we saw, and I believe it was Thorzane versus. Was it Thorzane? Was that TVT that we watched? Anyways, I guess I'll just get to my point. Three bases pretty readily accessible. Okay, standard. That's the normal thing. 4th base gets a little bit more stretched, and then it's that 5th base that's actually impossible to take because it's right next to your opponent. And that's really interesting. So it's actually, I mean, if you play like Talbot Malter, there's all kinds of base options for you to take. All kinds. This map, very linear in that sense. Very much so, I would almost say impossible to take a hidden base. Really, it's like that 5th base from your opponent that could be considered a hidden base, I guess. They might not find that, but even that base has pretty important pathing to your opponent's main. So it's like, gosh, there's not a... I mean, this is just such a straightforward map. You 2 guys go down, 1 guy leaves, man. That's what I'm trying to say. It's crazy.
What that means in TVT especially is that position is going to hold more of a key role.
Right. In
this, going into that later stage, if I, even off of 2 base, establish a really good map position, I can actually extend that over. Even though you have 3 base, I have 2 base. I've taken great position. I will always have cost-efficient trades, and then I can just take my, my expansions directly after that and be super safe and just outplay you at that point. So there are a lot of options, I think, for both Terrans. We'll see how they actually establish their lines and go about this particular map.
Interesting. Man, there's a bunker already going down for Happy. It's not a big deal, but it's weirding me out big time. He is scouting his opponent. There's absolutely 0 chance for this bunker to have any purpose at all. And it's already down. So again, I don't want to make this the biggest deal, but I'm just kind of weirded out by it because it's like a...
Where are all of his...
I want to say it's just such a mistake that a professional should never make. Like, you can wait another 20, 30, 40 seconds to make that bunker.
Yeah.
And he's scouting the command center too, which means that there absolutely should not be anything. Did he scout gasless too? He did. He scouted gasless. So maybe, I guess he thought proxy gates, but then the second, or proxy racks, the second he sees that command center, I don't know, I apologize. You're going to have to bail me out of this. My brain's actually completely locked up on this bunker for no reason.
That is a weird bunker.
You got to commentate now.
No, that's it. That is a weird bunker.
I'm frozen.
Frozen.
There's like a possibility that 2 Marines are on the map. Maybe 3.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, well,
I'm gonna
try.
Here we go. Happy is a supply cap for a little bit here. He actually made 2 supply depots. I don't know what's going on with Happy, man. He is, it just feels like he's crumbling needlessly.
He's like weirded out by the 1 racks expand, I suppose.
Exactly.
Now here comes that attack that I guess he knew about from the future. He knew this was coming, but with that bunker,
he kills an SCV.
Absolutely safe.
Okay, he kills an SCV. Oh, and he's gonna kill these Marines.
Should get all of them. Yes, yeah, with the Hellion, he absolutely will. So the Hellion's going to clean that up. Not the biggest deal, because if you look behind this, Gumiho, of course, at 3 barracks now is going to be able to produce more than enough Marines to replace those guys, up to double gas. So this is going to be a bio opening for Gumiho. Meanwhile, we have the 1 gas 111 from Happy, and this is, of course, a pretty common thing. In fact, I want to say this is a very similar build to how he opened up last game. And with this tech advantage, there's a chance he could elevate into the base of Gumiho, but is it going to hit fast enough? I don't know.
Not sure. These Marines need to be so careful, but weakening them is very advantageous. Of course, it empowers that drop a little bit later on, so we're going to see Happy probably do a lot with this 1 medevac. Needs to go ahead and hightail it over there, and we should be expecting some sort of expansion directly after this. I would assume that Happy, yes, he is gearing up for that.
Yeah, his money was gathering up pretty high here, so it's just going to be a regular expand build behind this. But the medevac plus the Marines, and it looks like it's just going to be 1 Hellion as the other one does retreat home to get repaired. This could be pretty strong.
Come on.
Marauder's starting to come out for Gumiho, though.
Not sure why he's not using it. There you go. Fine.
Well,
what is going on? I mean, normally when you're up against a fast expansion, you say, I need to use this as fast as possible.
He's waiting for the Hellions, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Is he going to actually see the Hellions go up there? Normally it is the Marines first.
This missile turret is actually... I believe this missile turret is one of the smartest things I've ever seen in my life. There's a really good chance that this could start hitting that medevac.
Wow.
Oh, it's double medevac. And they are going to miss the missile turret, but that's a lot of units, and the medevacs make such a difference. There's going to have to be a major SCV pull here.
There we go. And SCV pulls might be really tough at this point because those Hellions do very well.
Yeah.
The key thing in this is going to be how he actually positions. Gumiho is actually have a lot of units here and nice
focus fire.
And look at that. The Hellions are going to go for the Marines first, and now the Marines in the back that are supplemented by those medevacs are going to clean up a lot of units. I think Happy is actually in a great position to take this second unit.
Well, he just killed 13 Harvesters. He is expanding behind this. That Hellion is on its last legs. Oh, nice little snipe on that factory, delaying that tech for just a little bit longer. We're going to get another SCV pull here, and I do think that minus that Hellion, the SCV pull should be enough to clean this up, especially since Marauders do so much damage and take so little. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Happy is going to pick up here, but if you look at that income tab, even after killing all those Harvesters, Happy's only up 1 Harvester because of how fast that expansion went down. That's very interesting, I think.
No, I have to believe that we haven't seen constant worker production. You can even see a queue up in the mana of Happy's Orbital Command Center all the way up to 100.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Happy could have gotten a much bigger advantage from this whole engagement if he had constant SCV production. But obviously, you know, just not having it kind of keeps Gumiho in the game.
You know, I have to agree with you. Harvester count-wise, it's actually, well, Gumiho is ahead again. So that just that's the scientific example there that's what's happening. Gumiho is consistently and constantly producing Harvesters, whereas Happy is being a little bit more lackadaisical. And he did end up dropping those meals, so that's good. He didn't forget about them. We'd have to like call up Happy's family and be like, dude, your son forgot about meals. What's going on over there? But it's okay right now. Pretty big push. I do like how Happy has middle control. The thing is, Bio's about to kick into some serious gear. It's got +1 attack over here for Gumiho, and Stim is about to finish in just a few moments, as well as Armor's about halfway there. So Gumiho's Bio is something I've seen a lot of, actually. It's pretty gross how good he is with it.
As soon as medevacs kick in here, this is going to empower those Marines and Marauders, of course. Stim needs to be supplemented by some sort of healing because you don't want to be double stimming. All of a sudden your units are super brittle. So get those medevacs out ASAP. And what's going to happen, because Stim and combat shields for Happy are so far behind, you're going to see Gumiho just take off in terms of map control. He basically has anything and everything to do on the map. And from this, normally we do see faster thirds relative to their opponents.
Yep, and now map control is in Gumiho's side of the ring, if you will. Siege tanks numbering at 3 for Happy, so I feel like in a straight-up fight at this stage, as long as those tanks aren't caught out of position, the advantage does go to Happy. What I'd like to see is for him to use it. So much about tank versus straight bio is about positioning. If you get quarantined to your bases and the bio player is able to just kind of overexpand and continuously trade Marauder Marine for tanks, that is such a dangerous situation. We can actually already see Gumiho has his 3rd command center in production. It's almost there, and actually Happy is so intimidated by this bio opening that he's back inside his home. He's got his Marines, his medevacs, and even his tank, and I really don't like that choice. I think he should be out instigating that bio aggression and taking positions. We talked about this map it's just so important for that.
Well, you know, Jeff, I don't think he actually can, just because of the stim timing.
Okay.
That's the only reason. If he had stim, yes, you could do a lot of stuff, but being caught would be probably the worst possible situation where, you know, your siege tanks aren't sieged up and now your Marines are just getting slaughtered. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're in a, you know, from a kind of decent position to a 100% losing position. Even still, Happy is behind, I think, in this game. Not having those 2 upgrades, Stim, Combat Shield, up at a decent time is actually affecting him so much. normal time to push out, I think, is around 10 minutes with Marines and Siege Tanks, just to get a little bit of map control. But being so receded in here, it allows for his opponent to get a very easy third, and off of this, he can transition to whatever he wants.
Yeah. Now, here's something that I want people to see. 2 SCVs were sent out to repair that medevac that's at 18 health. Tried for a drop at the 12 o'clock natural and was unsuccessful. Such a minor thing. It might not seem like that big of a deal, but watch how many Terran players just never repair their stuff, actually. And it is such a big deal. Rather than remake that 100-100 costing medevac and then also have to spend time on the starport, why not just repair it? And again, it's such a small point, but it's such a big deal. Now, third orbital is going to float, and look at this. This is actually what I was talking about earlier. If there is a hidden base on this map, it is your opponent's 5th base. Okay, it's if you look at the top hand side, there's the 5 bases. It's that 5th one in the linear progression to the right side of the map, starting from the left. And that's exactly where Gumiho is going to expand. Now, fortunately for us, Happy is a fantastic player. He's actually scouting over there. Of course, there's very little he can do about it because, again, bio's so fast. Yes. Tank bio a little bit slower because you have to babysit those tanks.
What he's looking to do is put him in position where his opponent doesn't really want to go over there. Putting Marines and Marauders, or rather Marines and Siege Tanks over here, what it's going to do is get all those units way out of position. And by doing that, he has a lot of options. He can crush down on the army, he can crush down on the main/natural, or even the third.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very advantageous. That's exactly what Bio wants to have happen. You know, you give up expansions, whatever it might be, and I take your expansions, but your expansions mean more because I can still constantly produce with my Marines and Marauders. They're really cheap, and they have great upgrades. You can see 2-1 rather on the way.
He's actually a little bit slow to start up the next set of upgrades, which is a little bit disheartening, but he is ahead for right now. Yeah. On the other side, Happy is getting his 2-1. If things continue as they do. Well, we might have a major engagement here, kind of floating around that tower. Oh. And Happy's just going to go bio, straight bio, but his upgrades are so poor in comparison. He's got to file back to those tanks.
Cannot do that. You have to be so careful. 2-2 against, what is that, 1-0 right now. Happy is so far behind those upgrades. And I would love that 3-3, as you said. 3-3 needs to be initiated ASAP.
There's 3 attack, and 3 arm now. Okay, good. 3-3, so strong. Now, we do have a drop at 6 o'clock. Medevac should make the difference here. Marines go down. Will the tank as well? He's got to pull it back. He does. And he's even going to go for the medevac. Very smart play from Gumiho. When you kill that medevac, of course, the drop cannot return. But it actually acts as like a discouragement to Happy as well. It's like, well, shoot. If I keep losing medevacs, I won't have medevacs. And it almost works on a subconscious level. But we do have that drop at 12 o'clock queued up to go down. Meanwhile, Happy is taking positions on this tower. And that is what the tanks allow him to do. Now, Gumiho is getting his own tanks out here as well.
Yeah, and this is very important to actually have this transition, but here we go. That drop that you were talking about before is going to drop down on his opponent's 5th base. In the meantime, there's a little bit of harass at the 3rd, but there's a planetary fortress up there, so he's all well and good. It looks like this drop will be cleaned up very, very easily, taking out the medevac first and then going for all of the units. Nice job by Gumiho in this position. I think he's in the commanding lead.
Yeah. I mean, the other way this works, too, is as he's mining from the space, the longer he's able to mine from the space, if this should become one of those super late TVTs where it's like 45 minutes, that base is getting mined out from the opponent, right? I mean, that's really, it's like an aggressive expansion. It works against Happy, and Happy knows it. He's actually springing into action over here. He's going to work down the left side. Meanwhile, there's a small group of Marines on the right side. The nice thing about this situation for Happy is that is an orbital over there, so unless units are left there, he can pretty much always harass it, but it looks like Happy's just going to go ahead and shark back home. Upgrades, he's getting +1 mech. Uh-oh, what do we got? Oh, the drop. This drop's not feeling very lucky, I'll tell you that right now. Neither player does have Vikings, and they're not making them, but what they are making is tons and tons of well-upgraded stimmed Marines. So every time a drop goes down, it's on a timer until it dies.
Yes, 3-3 is about to finish here. It's only 50 seconds away, 40 seconds away, rather.
Oh, shoot.
But this is what we were talking about. You know, all these Siege Tanks, these Marines are super far out of position.
Happy gave up position, Gretorp.
Oh, my goodness. And we might be seeing a great engagement coming here from Gumiho. Marines and Marauders are going to sprint forward. They're getting really good position, pushing forward. And it looks like he's actually able to push back that Siege Tank count. Or that Siege Tank line all the way to the right-hand side. The Marines and Marauders are able to spring up into the
he caught the tanks.
Wow. Beautiful position for Gumiho to take, and Happy's in a ton of trouble.
This is the Gumiho we were talking about, man. Like, the first wave goes in, takes position, And Happy has to come back home, unseat those tanks, and during that transit, the second wave of Gumiho's attack shows up. Gumiho just had more stuff. He was on top of every drop. He was expanding aggressively. Of course, at the end there, we did see that expansion did fall, but that's small potatoes when you're inside everything of your opponent. Like,
Exactly.
you want to take my 4th base? Absolutely fine. I will take the game. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would say it's the upgrades that had a lot to do with that, and then of course the positioning. I mean, Happy was never in a position where he could actually fend off against those type of pushes. He just spread out all over the place. Happy wanted to remove some bases from the field because he's down to 4 base versus 3 base. He doesn't want to be in that position, and he just got
I wish we had Happy.
bit.
I wish we had Happy's thoughts because it felt like he was kind of like he was doing that thing that some Terran players do where they kind of shark around. They bob and weave back and forth.
Yeah.
There wasn't I don't think he was going to attack the right side because he was already harassing there, but he just voluntarily, I feel, gave up position. Gumiho sprang on it, and that was all she wrote. I mean, the second he took that position, that's
exactly. That's what's cool though. He just moved out of position ever so slightly, and it's like, thank you. Smashed it, and he took advantage of it. So really nice play by Gumiho, and it's going to put FXO at a 1-0 in this clan war, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to them for taking first blood. Now we're going to go on to our match.
First blood. They drew first.
That's what I was waiting for. You were the one that really liked that. Okay.
Match number 2 coming up, ladies and gentlemen, after this short break.